I've been ranting and raving about how reliable the GT3RS is. Finally let me down. We're here on Angeles Crest Highway. We got all the boys out today for a drive, and about 2 miles into it, my buddy Jeremy, who's behind me, was honking and signaling. So I figured I'd pull over thinking something was wrong with his car, but it turned out to be my car. We had some smoke coming out of the back and it dumped all of its coolant out down here. I'm thinking we got a coolant leak. And these cars do have a pretty common problem with the lines leaking, but this car has pinned lines, so I don't know why it would leak. Nothing we could do but wait for a tow. We're in the middle of nowhere, no service, but thankfully it is cloudy out, so it's nice and cool, and all the boys are here. And although I ruined their morning and they can't go for a drive, I'm grateful that they're hanging out while I wait for a tow truck. Whole group of guys with a wasted morning. Wow. This guy. It's always nice when you get a tow driver that knows how to handle low cars. He said he just picked up a Maserati MC20 yesterday. He was prepared. Hey, yo, this guy right here, he put in the most effort I've ever seen anyone do loading up a car.
Absolutely, no question. It's
unreal.
Thank you. Dude, thank you so much.
Not a problem.
It's such a pleasure when people actually give a shit. The maneuvers he was doing to get this car on, beautiful. Dude, thank you so much, man.
Not a problem.
You're a lifesaver. If you're in San Fernando and you get stuck, you got the number right here. Hit them up. These guys will take care of you. Hell yeah, man. Thank you.
Guys.
This is when Alex finds out that I've had his race ramps for the past like 6 months.
He definitely had a color change.
They might have got a little faded. Alex just recently joined the 997 crew with this Carrera S, and it even came on some LMs, which is great.
Remodded, dude.
And you love it.
I love it.
It's so much better than you thought.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So it's been a couple weeks since the GT3RS left me stranded in the canyons. I had to leave town immediately after, so I couldn't diagnose the car. I spent a ton of time researching what the problem could be on the internet. It ranges from coolant expansion tank to head gasket. I've been worried sick about the latter. So rather than wasting time and money troubleshooting, I'm gonna take it down to BBI Autosport and we're gonna go figure it out. I actually left town to go start working on the Mark II GTI project that I know a lot of you guys have been excited about, so more on that later. But we gotta figure this thing out. The one thing that really sucks about Porsche is the motor back here is pretty cool, except for when it comes time to diagnose anything, because let me show you just how much engine you can see back here. The motor's pretty buried in here. Hi, what's up, champy? It could potentially be the coolant expansion tank. It's really hard to see if it's this, any of the adjacent coolant lines that run to the back of the motor. Some remnants of coolant up here on the oil filter housing, which means it could have sprayed out of somewhere. It looks like there might be some stress cracks. I'm just gonna go bring it down there and hope for the best. I was actually pretty curious on if I could just start the car and run it onto the trailer because there's still coolant in the reservoir. One good bad thing is there's already coolant dripping out from just loading the car up on the trailer. So I think that this is actually a good sign because if it were a head gasket, I believe from what I've read, it would take a while for it to pressurize to actually start puking out coolant. The fact that it's leaking immediately after driving, I think is a good sign. Let's go. I gotta say, it feels good to be home in a Gen 1 Raptor, that is. I like the Gen 2 a bit better interior-wise, and it just felt a little newer, and I think the exterior is really nice on those. But man, the Gen 1 tows so much better than the Gen 2 Raptor. And I think it's just because of the 10-speed versus the 6-speed. The 10-speed always felt like you were kind of way too low in the RPM, and it needed to shift a lot when you were towing to pick up speed. But the Gen 1 is just the best one. That's it. It's so good. All right, so we came down to BBI Autosport in Huntington Beach, California. I've been working with them for years on the Hoonigan side of things, and I used to come down here and oogle all of their cars, so I'm always super hyped to come down and have them actually work on my GT3RS. But if you're not familiar with BBI Autosport, they're the creators of the Hoonapig. And a lot of other really crazy cars. And of course, Batim is here working on stuff. What's up, dog?
What up?
Thanks for taking my car in, even though Pikes Peak is only weeks away.
Thanks for bringing it in right about now. It's great. Thank you.
What do you got here, dude?
Pikes Peak headers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so got them on the fixture. These are all 3D printed ink now.
Oh, crap. Is this for Secret Project? We don't have to talk about it.
It's for Secret Project, but
we can show the headers.
headers are headers.
But, you know, you got Lucy back in action again. What year did this break the record? Was that 2019? 2019 Pikes Peak record-winning car. I love this thing. This car's been doing it for so long.
We just took it out last week. I got to drive it. It's the fastest and the best handling and the most compliant I've ever driven.
Hit him with the basic facts. Horsepower, RPM, and what does the car weigh?
2610 is what it weighs. It made 951 to the tires at 1.4 bar. That's what we ran it at the end of the day on Tuesday. 9,000 RPMs, 9,200.
God damn. Twin turbo, 3.8, 9,000 RPM. I'm always blown away this car is so light. Like when you look at it, it's massive.
It's a big car.
It's so wide and it's so long.
And then we focus on like fairings for rolling resistance, make sure the alignment's like dialed so there's no drag. And I mean, you could push like on the ground right here on the shop. One person can push it, it'll just keep rolling.
God
so it's like
damn.
all those little weird efficiencies, knockback springs, all that helps.
Man, I love the new front fender design, or not new, but you just see it now with without the with different livery. But the front fender is so sick.
You can see the inner side here, where it kind of rolls back and redirects the air.
Insane. So this thing's getting ready for Pikes.
Yeah.
And then you got a whole other car you're trying to build and get done for Pikes.
Yeah, I think you can hear the welding in the background.
Is the pig going to Pikes?
No, not this year.
It's taking a break.
Taking a break. I think 2025, the pig will go.
It's always nice to come here and just see that car still alive in the flesh, man.
It was where your car sits, and then we had to push it.
Yeah, it's in a good home, you know? It's got a lot of good companions to spend its time with.
Yeah.
Bobby, what the hell are you even looking for in here? There's nothing to look at.
Dude, I've got no idea.
First thing Bobby noticed, there's still coolant in the car, which we both deemed is pretty odd. If you have a major leak, it's gonna puke its whole system out.
Oh, it's all gone.
But we still got quite a bit of coolant left in here. But unfortunately, like, I don't really know what to look for in this engine bay. Unless you know what you're looking for and you know these engines pretty well, like, everything is pretty buried back in here.
Yeah. And the main thing we would look for would usually be a coolant pipe. One of these guys, that's pretty common on these Metzgers.
Literally, I probably got like 500 DMs of people being like, pin your coolant lines.
Yeah.
But this car, since it had pretty heavy track history, it has had the coolant lines pinned. So that is unfortunately not the problem. Well, fortunately, unfortunately, because it's an expensive job to do, but we still got to figure out what's wrong with it.
Now, coolant on the side of the trans, I believe on these, it's kind of where I see a little drip coming from. You also just have a whole little rat's nest of coolant lines down there. They go over the axle and under the trans, back to the chassis.
Another big common issue on these cars is actually the coolant expansion tank cracks. It could be that as well, but I did notice, I saw it leaking heavily. It was like right in front of the rear wheel. It is sort of like in this general area.
We found it.
No way, that quick?
We found it. This little guy right here has been rubbing on your axle.
Oh, wow, what the heck?
And then
Wow, that is a really stupid thing to go wrong.
Usually there's a mount up top that holds this up and away, and if that's bent a little bit, then you'll just get...
That's what that's called.
You don't even come over and say hi. I didn't see you all day. You just walk over. You're gonna come talk crap on the car?
Yeah, that's called engine install fail.
You just need to bend that line, that mount up and out of the way.
Give me a breakdown though. Is this gonna be a hose you gotta take the motor out to replace?
No, this is like one of the few hoses you don't have to do that for.
Oh man, we lucked out. We lucked out today.
You can literally see where it starts and ends, which is super rare on a Porsche. Usually step 2 is pull the motor.
Yeah, because I called Batim when this happened and he was like, it's probably a heater hose. I was like, that sounds easy. He said, well, no, because the engine probably has to come out.
You do have to drain the coolant and do the whole procedure, but I mean, honestly, it's not terribly bad.
I think we need to pull the engine.
Yeah.
There's big problems here.
Big problem. It needs a 4.125.
4.25.
I'll give you whatever I have in my pockets for it. What is this tool? I've never seen this before.
It's for hose clamps.
What the?
For all the tricky little spots.
Whoa. I feel like I might be living in the past that I haven't seen this before, but this tool is insane.
It's a cheat code.
Wait, is it like a crimp thing or is it a like unscrewing?
Squeezes. No, it's got little clamps, like a little claw, and pinches, and then it holds it.
Wow.
So you don't have to do anything sketchy with your hands or...
Dude, that is super sick. I was out here thinking, this guy got a bicycle brake cable out here doing something. So what are you thinking about on the RS, man? I know the first phone call I made after AAA was to Batim.
Yeah, I was hoping we were gonna have to pull the engine out. I was like, I got a stroker crankshaft for you just sitting here.
And this, I knew he was gonna go that route. He was like, don't worry, we'll take care of it. I'm like, I don't want to take care of it. I want to fix a small leak.
You remember what happened to Scotto when he came here for a small boost leak?
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that.
We will take care of you.
But he hasn't really seen this car in a long time. But I did have BBI do my post-purchase inspection with this car because I called with him, told him about this crazy deal on an RS. He was like, I can't come with you, but here's what to look for or whatever, and then bring it to the shop after if you buy it. And I bought it, and I was like, hey, I bought this car. Let's see if it's a complete disaster or not.
Ever since Vin bought the car, he's always been worried about every little thing. It's like having a child with a running nose.
It's terrible.
And then he goes down the forum rabbit holes, and then it's like WebMD for your car. But luckily, it's just a pipe.
I drive this car a lot. Things shake loose, and
that's why it's important to throw it up on the rack every once in a while and just touch everything. That's when we say,
I know.
Post inspection, we do a nut and bolt. What that means is you put your hands on almost every nut and bolt you can find, and then just touch things. Touch lines that are close to rotating things, or make sure things aren't chafing, nothing looks out of sorts. How relieved are you?
I'm super relieved.
I'm bummed. What am I gonna do with this crankshaft?
Ran out to the store real quick, and Bobby was able to button up the car, and apparently it is all done. Super quick work. They even had the hose just kind of kicking around upstairs. Luckily, it was like a $5 part, so I couldn't be more stoked, but the car is back in action. I'm gonna fire this thing up, load it on the trailer. I guess we should go do a little make good canyon sesh with this thing. Today, boys, we got lazy. Tried to leave late to go to the mountains, and now we're paying for it because traffic is horrendous. We're at that time of year in California where every morning is super overcasty, and I really like it, but the thing that's a bummer is your weather forecast won't show any cloud or rain, so it'll just be like, oh, it's sunny right now, but it's literally wet and raining. So today's crew, we got Lewis in the 2.5 RS. This car has a full 6-speed STI swap in it. Obviously, we got Ron in the sequential Evo, the traffic king over here.
Never seen a racetrack.
No?
Sequential, built motor, gutted, carbon everything. Cars and coffee.
Yeah. What were you just saying about this weather?
Oh, I love it. This is perfect.
How do you think the Evo's gonna do in the rain?
I don't know. The tires are super wide, so I don't know if it's gonna hydroplane anywhere, but we'll find out.
Go.
It's got no ABS.
All right.
That's the one scary part, because it's a RS.
This guy, you're such a prick all the time. You gotta do dumb stuff like this. Roll down his back, roll down the passenger rear. Roll down the passenger rear.
Actually, let's find out. Let's find out if it rolls. Oh. I got something for you.
Me?
Yeah, because you know last episode when I was swapping out the wheels
Yeah.
and you hooked me up.
Whew,
valve
wow, you actually got me valve stems back? You're such a sweet boy. Thank you.
I tried.
And I really like the car on the TEs though. It looks so much
World
sicker.
of a difference.
Man.
And it's on a 40 series tire, which like
I know, this
comes
fitment
at
is
GT look.
crazy.
It barely scrapes. Up
I mean,
front, it
it's
doesn't
close.
fall. Yeah,
Do you have a spacer on that?
I do, yeah. It's a 15 mil in the back and a 20 mil up front because the front fenders are wider.
Yeah, dude, this looks so good.
Thank you, man.
Alex, this is your inaugural trip 997, right?
This is it. I mean, we tried one.
You've done anything to it in the time that we've been away?
I put your old GT3 wheel on it.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Ceramic coated and detailed.
Ooh, man, yeah, Gustavo did a good job on this thing.
I put some gas in it today.
Nice. Dude, this is great. I loaned Alex my GT3 steering wheel and he cleaned it up really good.
I put like
It worked
50
out well
bucks-
for
50
me.
bucks into that thing.
All right,
Let's go.
let's go. So we're gonna go drive up to Newcombs. Hopefully the weather gets better as we go up. We'll see. Just listen to the sound of this idle. I don't even know if you could hear it. It's so dump trucky. That single mash chatter, baby. Not the ideal conditions for today, but it's all right. I'm generally a pretty cautious driver on the crest, usually going pretty slow because this road is really fast. There's a lot of idiots on here and always a ton of crashes. Playing it extra easy today. But honestly, no matter what, it's still such a sick drive. And it's so crazy because you just go from like whiteout conditions to nice and clear where the road is dry and then it's wet again. It feels so unique. I better get a f***ing Tony Harmer photo of my car, Tony. Take a picture of me vlogging. The most ridiculous weather. It was like absolutely perfect and beautiful out just maybe 2 minutes ago, and now we're in a cloud. But it sure does look cool. And 2 seconds later, it's absolutely beautiful out. And we just pulled over just to check out the nice weather because the blue sky is finally out. Jack stand. Yeah, that's fine. Go collect some rocks so we can get this thing up. It's not that serious. We just got a blown intercooler hose, so
The next stage start.
so we got the little rocks under the tire.
I think I lost
Rod. Yeah, Rod. This guy's got 3 hose clamps on his intake.
This guy's got hose clamps on every part he needs hose clamps on.
And it's ABM, dude.
Yeah, you don't need that one.
Sure. I don't know.
Hey, is this still gonna pass California bar with that? With one hose clamp missing? Where's your bar sticker? Oh, look at this. Lewis did the most adult swap ever. Can you tell us about it, Lewis, real quick?
Oh, yeah.
What do you got?
So, totally stock, never touched. It's a full 05 SS one.
Full 05, even California bar.
Yeah, so it's like legal.
Crazy.
I mean, it's legal enough.
That's so adult for you.
I know.
But this car is sick, man.
It's basically an 05 minus the fact that it's a two-door Impreza.
But the chassis are pretty similar, right? From the GC8 to the...
It's actually very, very similar to the point where like the subframes all bolt right in.
Oh, wow.
Drive shaft, everything bolted right in.
That's sick.
Like I think the only adapter I needed was like a drive-by-wire pedal adapter.
Wow.
And like that's it.
Not
And maybe,
bad.
like the steering rack. That's
Yeah.
it.
And like, what's your favorite vape juice?
Watermelon. Sometimes I like grape. I heard you talking shit on the NSX in your last video, so I need you to drive this thing. I need you to eat your words.
Okay.
Let's
talk about it when I get back. I just want to drive it right away, and then we'll figure it out. All right, getting in the NSX, and Amir says that this car will change my opinion on the NSX in general. So let's give it a shot. Man, no power steering feels so good. Ooh, this thing sounds spicy. And the gear selector feels great. Oh my God, I'm gonna eat all my words about the NSX. Oh my God. Oh wow, getting to hear the induction noise much more than stock makes this car sound, it really livens up the driving experience. And we're down on power right now because we're so high up in elevation, but this thing feels incredible. Wow, the front end is so sharp on this car. And you really, with no power steering, huge tires up front, like, you really feel it. It's got a ton of front grip. Brakes feel good. The motor sounds really nice. This is a good NSX. I might not go back. I might just keep driving this thing. Lots of feedback through the steering wheel. Wow. It feels almost like reminiscent of an old air-cooled 911. Like, just so much feedback coming through, and like really you feel every imperfection in the road. Woo-hoo. Yes, this thing feels sick. Man, in NSX they may make me eat my words about NSXs. And I knew these cars would be good, but I didn't know they could be this good. This is Amir here.
What's up, guys?
And actually, we met a long time ago when you had one of those and I had one of these.
Correct.
We were going to trade cars when I had my NSX. He had a .1 GT3 that was really nicely set up. And he wanted an NSX, and I wanted a GT3.
Yes.
And we didn't trade, but now we both have our cars. And you made this thing into quite the NSX. A lot of people think that when you look at the NSXR versus NSX, there's not a big power increase, but it's just like the GT3 and the GT3RS, is that it's more in the what they took out of it and the small things they did to make it better. So you've done pretty much a lot of NSXR upgrades, most notably way wider fenders. What tires did you put on this?
These are RE71Rs, 245s in the front.
Oh, it's a 245, okay.
Back. Basically, I've turned it into an old GT4 setup. It's got the same grip as a GT4, just in a older form factor. So
Okay. What dampers you have on it?
KW, same stuff you had.
KWs, any like other like suspension arms and stuff done or bushings?
No, it's actually fully OEM.
Wow, so it's just dampers.
Just dampers.
Inside, what is it, just some buckets and a steering wheel?
Yeah, so it's full interior.
What did I see you did? You just put lightweight glass in it?
So the NSXR comes with lightweight glass in between the compartments, so you probably heard it.
Wow, that's deep nerd stuff, yeah. God damn.
It shed some weight. I did all of the R stuff you want to do. I did that for the experience. I did the brake setup, which was big, and then from there suspension and gearing. And I'm pretty sure you felt the
Yeah.
difference too.
Can we pop the hood real quick?
Yeah.
So what did you do engine-wise?
There's a factory 3.2. It's just built to their specification.
This is sick too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nothing fancy, but the factory NSXR, especially the 2003 and the 2005, Honda kind of blueprints the motors.
Yeah.
And the motors make like 276, 300 horsepower at the wheel, but a lot of people don't know that because there's only 150 of them ever made. So they're actually overpowered from the factory. So
Wow.
basically what I've tried to do and what I've asked them to do is get me something similar.
The NSX needs some mods, but man, this thing drives incredibly. Holy crap. Well, thank you for letting me take it for a drive, man. Hell yeah. The NSX Prime and all the crew, thank Amir for, making me eat my words on the NSX. Because, man, my 360 video got NSX people so mad.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Yeah, I didn't.
You were wrong.
I didn't say it was a bad car. I just said the 360 was a good deal.
Yeah, you're right. You're not wrong.
Up at Newcombs Ranch, figured this is the spot to go to on the drive up. Pretty good turnout considering the weather at the bottom of the hills, pretty terrible.
Everything you love about the car, but it's so fucking rapid. I'm overwhelmed. It makes all the regular Evo noises, but those shifts are ridiculous. Like, you feel everything, like your whole fucking rib cage, like shake.
Thank you. It's a really silly car.
Okay, let's go home.